And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, after this already very strong start from Dynasty in this best of 5 series here in the Elite series. And yeah, we have 5 matches ahead of us, potentially in E3. We'll see how that goes. And for that, I have none other than QG and Frashtana by my side. Welcome back, guys.
We're back. We're back. We're back in
They
this.
are back.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Back in this.
Yeah, back in this, and yeah, we are back in this game too. So, what do we think about the first game, and how can we do better as Fullclear Esports in the second game? That's the question we could answer, right?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, they've had a rough start in the game already. Dynasty was already starting off really strong, but most importantly, they had these lots of bans which they don't have this time around. So maybe they're off on a better foot this time around.
That's exactly what I wanted to say. What could Fullclear do this game better? Just ban something. I mean, it's not that they didn't ban, but I mean they just lost the ban rights, right? So, but I think with bans, maybe there's an opportunity to have a better draft. But we need to see if it even changed something, because Dynasty played really dominant, and that could be a rough one just for Fullclear, just for the mental state of them to just lose the 4th game in a row in playoffs. That could do something with you.
Yeah, that definitely does stuff with you, because yeah, you have to be. You lost 4 games, you lost more than the whole series. I think they lost only 2 or 3. But to come back from the 4th game loss, and then you have the you lost all your bans. So how you're gonna adapt from that? It's also tilting if something like this happens. It's kind of unfortunate, but you have to like adjust to the environment, and then just do a ban now. I in the past, I think it was said that Fullclear went red side. Yes, they went red side, and we also have the bans already here. We have Kaiser, Kindred, and Xayah out against Dynasty, and we have the same bans as before against Fullclear. So this is something not unexpected, but
Yeah.
Dynasty took the Jace, so Fullclear has now to answer. I really think you have to think about the Varus here. He's not going to be picked, or you can also play in mid lane. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, Fullclear Esports definitely going into this with those bans is already not too bad. Leaving the Jace open is clearly the better choice here rather than the Kaiser, because Taxfig held his lane really well against Frankie's Jace. So you're already on a better foot here. Yeah, the Renekton pick, you guys seem a bit skeptical, but Festia did have a really good game before. I mean, he was the redeeming quality for Fullclear Esports there. And they were just unable to pull it off, but he held a good lane.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, in the end, he got a lot of resources right. He got like the jungle attention, he got Herald, and he had a good matchup. And Hazaki maybe into this one time I tried to 1v1 him with no mana, but I mean, in the end, he still won the matchup, so well played, Festia. The big question is, I don't exactly know why they banned out Kindred and Atsai, actually. I mean, we did not see either of these for Dynasty, so they could have been better bans in my opinion, especially like the Chase, for example, instead of like the Saya. I think Saya isn't like really a huge pick right now. Anyway, we have the Ornn against the Renekton again, and instead of Kaiser, who goes for AP and tries to poke you, we have a 6 who goes for AP and tries to poke you.
Yeah, so there we have the poke combo of Dynasty finished as the first game, just with different champions, and a bit less range from the Ziggs, and also less engaged from because of the Xayah. But there we have Diana. We have Diana, boys. Diana Rankin is a pretty good a pretty strong top side, and there is also a big engage bottom with a lot of damage, and with that low mobility of your 2 damage dealers, you can get catched easily.
Well, absolutely, and they have this pretty strong wombo combo already with that, which well can be very advantageous if they found the right angle to just all in on Dynasty. But we've seen Dynasty really deft around the map, avoiding this proper engages. It seems like they did not take this ban. I will acquire as to get some information about that.
No, I mean that's strange. We need to see, but yeah, like the Yasuo ban is really a good one. Yasuo Diana, the classic, makes sense to ban it out. Actually, that would have been one pick I would have might assumed that Fullclear wants to go for it on Taxfix. Or Taxpic. I always call them Taxfix, but just because it's like anyway. Now the big question is if Fullclear has a second ban or if they drop both of them.
Oh, so they probably... Oh no, they banned Wukong. Yeah, but the Yasuo gives you a lot of AD damage with your Aphelios, your Renekton, and with the Yasuo. So you... It's not that bad with the Diana, but is it worth it to lower your overall damage because Orange just goes armor and it's finished? And there's also the Yone ban, so the brothers are out.
They would of course fit really well. I mean, with a Diana, Yasuo already has a lot of great setup, although the rest of the team wouldn't really fund to do that, but they would still get a very strong wombo combo. Yeah, the Hecarim still open, but then what happens to Diana? Diana mid?
Diana mid, or even Diana top, and Renekton mid against the Jace. Good work.
Yes. I also have information. The ban there was just a small mistake or error, an issue. It's Nautilus.
Okay. And the big question is if they really want to swap around that much. I think Diana mid lane against Chase can definitely work. Renekton can definitely work as well. Both have the problem that they can jump in on him, but then he just smacks them away. So both kind of lack the second gap closer, so to say. If Diana plays the combo right, she might have a second jump, so that could definitely work out in this mid lane matchup. And then, of course, both have flash to maybe get back on him. Anyway, Graves now in the jungle for Humelu. So farm heavy jungler, and especially like with Renekton and with Hecarim and with Aphelios, you already have a lot of AD, like you said, and then Graves can just stack up armor with his dashes, so definitely a good pickup in that regard. And then both supports are at the moment being picked with Renata Class on one side, who just wants to disengage against Renekton, Diana, Hecarim, who just wants to jump in, and Renata can easily disengage it. And on the flip side, there's Sona, just some protection, just some good scaling for the Aphelios.
Yeah, and this is heavy disengage and kiting from Dynasty. If you engage and the Renata survives, your whole melee setup is hitting themselves and trying to kill them. But the engage from Fullclear with the Hecarim, Diana and Sona is not that bad. It's actually good. And it's Gallop on Hecarim. I think he's Hecarim main. So that's gonna be interesting to see what they're gonna do. But yeah, Dynasty went to they don't have one go button and like a few disengage buttons. So Dynasty won again the go button here. They have like 2, 3 kinda with 1 or 2 on Fullclear. That's like stuff you have to consider.
I mean, you said we have the Gallop on the Hecarim, his main, which is pretty go heavy. You have the Diana, which is also pretty go heavy, so they do have those 2 very strong engages. And in my opinion, Aphelios follow-up could also almost be considered one, because if they get the combo right, just goes all in, then you have the Sona ultimate coming in. So I don't think they're too bad off on that front, though.
Yeah, I think one thing that the Dynasty combo kind of lagging is the engage, because Ornn is usually a good engage on its own, but yeah, something is missing. Like last time you had Rel and Sechani together with Ornn. This time Ornn is your only engage, so they could maybe lacking this engage if they want to engage. And like usually if you are ahead, you can just pick fights because you are ahead, but especially if you are behind, it kind of gets hard to really find an angle, and there's hard engage, which helps you to find those angles. But without, you might not get the chance to get a winning team fight, a winning catch. So that could be a big danger for Dynasty. But I don't think that they want to play from behind, especially with Graves, especially with Jace. They probably want to win early game with Graves, just with those prior lanes, and just try to shove it in and then find those picks. Because from ahead, even a Graves can engage. I mean, he just jumps in and one-shot someone. So, I mean, that could work.
Yeah, and you also have the DPS threat of the Jace if you go AD carry, because you can like build him in both ways. You can build him on lethality, and you can also build him on the AD crit side. So with these tanks and melees, you can go for the crit, or you go for the lethality and you go into the burst the Aphelios or burst the Sona. So the enchanting is gone and the damage is gone. But with these three beefy mid laners in the mid to late game, either Diana goes for the Abyssal Mask into the Bruiser build, or you see the full Assassin build with the Night Harvester, the Nash's Tooth, the Rabadons and everything, and you can build her both ways actually. She's not that bad. She also got buffed a bit with some base damage and shield buffs, so she's healthy in lane against the Jace. She can survive a bit more.
Yeah, I believe it's going to be very important here for Dynasty to just not get caught. I mean, Frankie already has proven that on his Jace he's able to get the right position to get the poke down without getting caught too easily. Dark Q as well, although with a lot more range, so we'll have to see how he adapts with that. Although Ziggs as well does have a bit of like security built in his kit, and I think they'll have to move a lot and be incredibly reactive against this wombo combo that Fullclear can just bring about. Although they do have quite a few tools in their toolbox here to do so. Definitely,
there are a lot of tools in this toolkit. And I really like to see the Aphelios again, especially like with Sona. After those mini nerfs and stuff, I think Sona definitely is a good one for Aphelios. And like she even fits in this like kind of engage theme with Hecarim, with Renekton, and even with Diana. I mean, they don't have like the best engage, and with the movement speed from Sona, they might find a better angle, they might find a better engage, and then of course she can also go for flash ult, for example. So I kind of like the whole team comp of Fullclear.
Yeah, Fullclear going for the Fullclear team fights here with the full engage, and then for the full win.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes as we're headed into the Summoner's Rift here. Dynasty versus Fullclear Esports in the semi-finals matchup at the ESLOL 2nd Division. Dynasty being 1 point ahead already from the previous match. Fullclear has to get a hold on a few wins maybe, or they'll be in a rough spot.
Yeah, and we see a little 5-man stack here from Fullclear. I mean, not that Dynasty have a good invading team comp, so probably there shouldn't be an invade anyway. But still, they at least try to cover it. I mean, the good thing with such a 5-man stack is if someone face checks you, he's dead. But the bad thing is that you maybe wanted to set up some vision and now you couldn't. So that's always the pros and cons of those early game strats.
Yeah, you have to be careful. Taxvic running into Gravelord. Has to be careful because Frankie is around the corner. Dark UDQ as well. They go all in. The damage is there. And Taxwick is almost dead. First blood goes to Dark UDQ. And with that, the bot lane of Fullclear decided to help a bit, but they just got damage in their face.
And I don't know why he didn't flash. Like normally, I mean, probably is dead if he flashes too late. But if he flashes early, maybe even flashes like a big damage spell, then he might get out, or even he flashes to just trade flashes, right? So that's always something he could have done as well.
Yeah, instead he got exhausted and slowed and tried to get away with the help of Sky Ownage and Nomad. But that didn't play out as thought, and then we have Humulu here.
Yeah, already creeping in this bush. Red buff into bot gank is the plan here. But yeah, Fullclear is too passive. Shows his face and goes back to the clear. Gallop has been sighted, I believe, by one of them in their own top jungle. So Humulu just goes for Gallop's own blue buff.
Yeah, so some good pathing, but there's Frankie to stop him.
Yeah, goes in, damage is there. Would be unfortunate to give him a kill this early in the game. Gallop is dropping the ghost to try and get away. Going to movement speeds. Is Frankie going to be able to get him with the EQ? Flash is auto attack. That's the kill for the mid laner of Dynasty. And now Taxwick was in the enemy jungle, is encountering Humulu, who wanted to go for the steal, but the damage is already there. Skyonge goes over the wall. That's the kill going to Fullclear. In the meantime, on the top lane, Festia is killed by Hazaki. It just goes all over the map. And that's a... I don't even know, I lost count.
Yeah, what a play there. By both sides, I mean, in the end, both sides stopped the enemy jungler from stealing too many camps, so they kinda played with their priors really good and just tried to stop them, while Frankie moved first to Gallop. Of course, Taxwick could move first to Humulu, so just played by both mid laners.
Yeah, and so now with the double buff
careful here on the mid lane. Frankie goes all in on Taxwick as he comes back. That's a second kill for the mid lane of Dynasty. Sorry, QG. Back to you.
Yeah, Taxwick and Frankie are always interrupting my analyst. But yeah, some action is always good. But as I want to say, Sona with a double buff in lane is not to underestimate. She has a lot of damage and sustain with these two items. She even picked up the tier, so she can even poke better. Yeah, we have some traits.
Even going for the Dark Seal here with those two early kills.
Yeah, said that she didn't have Dark Seal before that, right?
Yeah, it's Sona carry. If Philios is bringing support, just to enable the Sona, and you see Skyonage is running around.
That's a classic full AP support, right?
Yeah. The I still remember the Seraph and Vel'Koz days.
Yeah, and Skyonage deciding to be active to get those stacks. Probably Orvis taking this pink ward. That's gonna be rough. Bot lane and mid lane is collapsing, but yeah, fast enough to get away.
Yeah, nothing is happening there. In the end now, the question is who can get the next kill. Oh, but that was kinda close, but good disengaged by Dark UDQ. So the game does continue as normal, just both teams trading, just both teams trying to get something, but nobody really dies right now.
Yeah, this poke is always better for Sona. She gets the stacks, so she has the upper hand in the late game.
Yeah, level 6 on the top lane. Hazaki is able to get the damage out on Festia. Is he going to be? Yeah, that connects. And with that, a second kill going to the top lane of Dynasty. And things are starting to look really good for them. 1k gold lead on the top lane and the mid lane. Most importantly, Frankie as well with this 20 CS lead already. And the action keeps on going on. Bot lane goes for the engage. Scrabble is getting really low from Nomad's damage. With Gallop coming in from behind, they won't get the kill. However, in the meantime, on the mid lane, Humulu is coming in for Taxwick, who got a lot of damage on Frankie, but has to be careful now. Drops the ignite. The damage is not enough, and it's Humulu who picks up the kill on the Diana player.
Yeah, well played by Dynasty again, especially like top lane. I mean, like I said in Champ Select, this matchup is maybe bad for the Ornn, but Hasagi is just such a really strong Ornn player that he can just outplay it over and over again. And he just gets those solo bolos. And then a good gank, of course, from Humuru as well to punish mid lane Diana without flash.
Yeah, and Diana is going for the Night Harvester build, as it looks like. With the double tombstone. And you also have to take care. Gallop, think, clicked the wrong one and didn't get the kill. Should have gone for the Crab Lord.
And in the end, Dynasty able to set the pace. They're 1.5k gold ahead now. Drake is up as well, so they might start looking into that. They already did very early on the previous game. They might want to carry that over to this second game.
Yeah, so that was a good one right now. I mean, Drake is still up. Herald is spawning in around about 30 seconds, and like normally you would say get first Drake into rotation top lane for the Herald, but nobody really gets the first Drake. Like last game, like both teams kinda ignored the Drake for a long time, and this time it's the same story.
Yeah, the early game is not that crushy as the game before, but scale Fullclear is also scaling with their bot side. And we have to see if Hasagi can still keep down the Renekton. It's also a different game from a different lane from before.
Yeah, I mean, he goes for the clear, he goes for the aggression here, puts a lot of damage on Fest here. He is able to keep him a bit little. Fullclear goes for the tower dive on the bottom lane with the ulti out. Dark Uniq is a bit self-defenseless, and Nomad picks up the kill. Skyonut surviving here with barely any health left.
Yeah, was close. So in the end they get one, and at the moment, I mean, last game Nomad died 10 times. This game he is still flawless and even has one kill. So that's the reason why they pick up the Furious Ram, right? Now he even has 2 platings at his spell, so maybe Nomad's time to shine in this game.
Yeah, it's the 0-10 second game buff for Nomad. And then Taxwig is, I think, going to die again. No.
This time flash up.
And Rift Herald being dropped mid lane.
They keep the push going. Hasaki coming in with the ram, and the damage is there. Mulu tries. Yeah, picks up the kill on Taxwig, who wasn't able to survive this, albeit using his ultimate.
Yeah, that was a nice tower dive there, even though Diana almost outplayed it by dodging the Ornn ultimate, but still couldn't get out of there.
Yeah, and they had to invest 3 flashes to kill Taxwig, so that's good to know for Fullclear, so later on they can maybe punish someone with that information.
Now Fullclear going in for that Drake. With all of that, essentially playing safe after this few early kills from Dynasty, they were able to get back into it a bit. The jungle starting to build up a lead. Nomad with that kill, those platings, and the CS lead able to start to get into the game. And we cannot forget on his Aphelios, he is pretty strong, so Dynasty has to be careful.
Definitely. No Hasagi even with a second plating top lane, so this guy is kind of fat 3-0 to platings. So we could see something from him in this game. Maybe even a second or third Bodo, who knows. But no, even first Drake got deleted, Herald got deleted, so at least some of those objectives went into the belts of those teams.
Yeah, the Rift Tower is still there. Homolu wants to put that on bot lane too, so there's gonna be pressure here. And I think it runs out soon, therefore they have to hurry up.
And decide to go for the more aggressive stance. Humlu seemed to have been looking for an angle there, but instead goes in and helps his team to push top lane in the meantime. Yeah, same as earlier, but Fessi is a bit more resilient. It can fall back. Has to be careful though, that's a bit dangerous. A lot of damage already falling in. In the bot lane we have the engage, 2 flashes out. Rude on Humlu. However, situation diffused. In the meantime, Galop on the top lane goes for the counter gank. Maybe take down Hazaki this time around. He's going to use the ultimate. Fessi goes in. Has to be careful. He is dying at the hands of the Ornn player who could turn around on Galop, who decides to get back. Now in the meantime we have Frankie joining in the bot lane. Fiesta along with Taxwig. Herald is set down, the platings are taken. I don't think Dynasty is going for a dangerous move here, no.
Yeah, and I want to play there again by Hazaki. This Ornn is just massive. I mean, just look at him. He has Sunfire already and then 280 champions without items try to kill him. So it's basically not possible. I mean, just look at the items of Galop right now. He can't do damage.
We've had a crescendo on the bot lane. The damage from Dark UniQ is already there with the ultimate. Humlu coming in, pick up the kill. But the TP from Fessi is going to dissuade Dynasty from trying to get Skyonage as well.
Yeah, well played there.
Taxwig goes in on Frankie, but with Humlu just around the corner, Moon Crash works out, but doesn't get the damage through. Shutdown goes to the Diana player with Fessi just around the corner. He pushes Humlu away.
Yeah, and just over and over again, a little outplays go hard at the moment, and Frankie got killed there. I believe it was even a little shutdown, but just a little one. So well played by Fullclear, and they don't give up right now. They just fight and try to come back.
Yeah, and the Jace E just deletes your ult as Diana, so you lack damage in a 1v1. That's also hard to believe because of all your damage, and there's also the Hextech alternator, so it's gonna be a Night Harvester or a Hextech belt. And I think Nomad is dead here. Replot is coming.
Skyonage is just around the corner as well. Ultimate cooldown, however, he is the one to get CC'd and get the damage in his face. But they're not able to kill him before he gets in turret range. They of course still have to be careful of Nomad's damage, which is not to be scoffed at.
And just so many gangs come down to the spot line, but Nomad, not like last time, just survives all of them basically, besides this one tower dive there. But at the moment, and like I said, if Nomad has a good game or if he is not behind, Fullclear has good chances to win. So at the moment it kind of looks good for him. I mean, he has a farm lead, he has a kill, he has some plates, so he kind of feels good.
In the meantime here, Galop, who tried to counter jungle, is getting caught on the top lane. Also a bit of a situation. Festia keeps on trying to push, but Hazaki is still too strong. 2 levels ahead. Flash out for the Renekton player. And Hazaki can just walk back up. We have Humlu, who came in as well, is going to get some money from that situation as well. Oh, he does that well. Festia still alive. Humlu is going to pick up the kill, however. Not before Galop comes in. But he has to be careful, he's just going to die as well. Collateral damage is not enough. And the Hecarim player gets away. In the meantime, on the bot lane, the tower dive is going on. Trouble is dying at the hands of Taxwig. Dark UniQ alone is going to die at this immense damage. And Nomad is going to pick up that turret. Not quite yet. Next wave.
And Taxwig is really playing amazingly at the moment. Just knowing how and when to tower dive. He has 3 kills, most of his team, and he just, even though he has 4 deaths, he's just always there where the action is and really tries to carry his team right now on this particular interesting champion with Diana mid lane.
Yeah, and the Diana mid lane is back. It got camped, as we can say, and just hard to get away with all the damage there is, and now the early to mid game transition is coming. Diana is getting stronger, she's getting items, and therefore she has some damage. And also the CC for ganking. It's good, and there's Rift Turret mid.
Yeah, you have to be careful. Wild stuff happened on bot lane. Humlu picked up that Herald. Fullclear went for the Drake. They got the Drake indeed. But now they can just push in that middle lane, get the second turret in one push. Hazaki just turning the enemies away. Ah, that's the third turret going to them, and yeah, that's the Ziggs, guys.
Yeah, what a push there by Dynasty. They just got so many turrets out of this little play there. And like with this front line, especially like just look at Tumulu, just look at Hazaki, they definitely can probably win those teamfights just by running at them because they are just too tanky.
Gonna go for the Kanjan Festia, who is pushing top lane, got the turret at least. He's gonna have a rough time getting away. Galop just around the corner, and I think with that he's safe.
Just getting guided.
But still, well played. He got out there. That's something. Could be the face check, but nobody dies.
Wait, it's the Trinity Force for Graves? That's some kiting build I see. Yeah, I didn't know that would be a build, but Trinity Force kinda seems strong. The movement speed and all the sheen damage you get. And then he's going for some lethality, so it's actually lethality Jace then, with kiting potential. Yeah, as we saw, Renekton, Homulu just guided him. So there's no... Oh, the engage.
Engage on the mid lane. Taxwick decides to do the counter engage, gets a lot of damage on Crablet, but they have Hazaki in the back line. Two-man ultimate for the Diana player is going to be shut down by Frankie. However, in the meantime, Hazaki kept Fullclear busy and got a lot of damage on Nomad, forcing the enemy team to fall back as the rest of Dynasty is now following up on the top laner's lead.
And that was basically a 1v4 play, Hazaki against the world, just jumping in, just not like, I mean, just look at his health, he almost killed 3 people and still is half-life, so what a player there. And like I said, the weak side king, he gets the solo bolos in the 1v1s, even on Ornn, and just outplays them in teamfights as well.
Yeah, you need the LDR on Nomad to actually kill him, or you need your Diana in your backline, and you don't want to have the Diana in the backline, so that's actually hard to kill her. To kill Hazaki here with the full AD, full armor build at the moment, also the heal and extra resistance you get from the Abyss, the Jackshore, sorry, what's my point? We have 5 TFS caught.
Yeah, as Humelu and Frankie onto him, gets a lot of damage on Frankie as well, but with the cooldowns on, is not able to survive any longer. Humelu is the one to pick up that kill, and with that, Fullclear, 1 man down. Dynasty is going to be able to keep the pressure going. We have Galop coming in into top lane to help out Taxvic, maybe finally get that shutdown money onto Hazaki. We can see that Diana does quite a bit of damage onto him. It has to be careful because he does damage as well. He is 2 levels ahead. With the Umon, he gets the CC through. Taxvic gets really low, is forced to try and get back, but dies at the hands of Hazaki. Galop now is fleeing as well, and in the meantime Dynasty just pushes this bot lane through.
Yeah, it's just insane what Hazaki does at the moment. Now he probably dies against Galop and Scarnage. But, I mean, just look at him. He was such a beast, just winning the 2v1 anyway. And now he gave shutdown away, but still showed all of us that Hazaki is someone you need to beat.
Yeah, and look at the Ornn, just too tanky to. They need a Black Cleaver and LDRs, and they are not going for any of them.
Ooh,
the damage is insane.
Yeah, I mean Frankie's EQ damage. You follow that up with Darky League's Inferno Bomb. That's dangerous. But Skyonich was able to survive. Sona usually able to survive with that heal and with the running. Drake is up in about 20 seconds. Dynasty, currently in the driver's seat, is able to set the pace here as Fullclear is a bit on the back foot.
Yeah, and with this dragon now being spawned, I really like that Dynasty is actually grouping for that. Teleport for Hazaki is ready as well, and they cannot give this third Drake away because otherwise it will always be soul point, and that's the reason why they try to get it before Fullclear even comes near it.
David Gallop comes in now with the damage. Frank is the first to die, and Wombo Combo is dead. The Dream is alive. Umlu is res, but we have Hazaki coming in from the backline, doing a lot of damage. Fessi in the meantime shredding through Dynasty, and the situation is starting to look really good for Fullclear Esport as they get 4 men down on sides of Dynasty. Are they going to be able to take down this raid boss that Hazaki is? Yes! That's the ace going to Fullclear.
Yeah, and it's kind of a misplay actually by Hazaki. I mean, he could have teleported just right from the get-go, just being a 5v5, but he first teleported in after one of them already died, after the engage was already done. And with that, he was just way too late. Then without him, they just lost the team fight. And now they will just lose a Baron. And all of that just for one Drake. I mean, it was not really worth for Dynasty, and that was a good comeback here for Fullclear.
Yeah, that's a comeback story if you ever see one. Yeah, they just ignored Hasaki and just killed the whole team because, yeah, we have AoE, you don't, so we just kill you. Yeah, Gallop, Taxwick, Feastier, Skyround and Nomad, they just dealt their damage right there, and that was it. Just kill the owners last. They found the solution to their own problem.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is absolutely what you want to do in such a comp. Frankie now getting caught by Gallop and Fessi. Is he going to be able to get away? On sort of shadows. Go sorry. But what I want to say is, Fullclear was behind in gold for a long time, yes, but they still have the 2 Drakes, and they weren't too bad off. I mean, look at Gallop. He only died once. He's got a 60 gold lead, 60 CS lead on the enemy jungler. Nomad also has a really good game, has had a great laning phase, also well ahead in terms of CS, so they're in a good position actually. It's just a pushing. Oh wow, that's too bad. Taxwick dying. Dynasty decides to keep the push going on the top lane. They pick up Gallop as well, and just like that, they turn it back into their favor. Maybe a return kill on Umlu. Yeah, no, with that, he's able to survive a bit longer. Nomad kites this really well. Hazaki has to be careful. He flashes in to get the tank. Oh no, that's too dangerous. He dies at the hands of the own player, and Skyonage now forced to flash back into the base.
Oh man, I mean, Nomad almost saved this play, but then flashed over the wall to kind of save his team, but he just has not enough damage to do it. He is not tanky enough, so that was a little bit too over-eager. Was a good play by Dynasty. They got a lot out of this play, 3 kills, 1 turret. So the comeback is kinda being rude a little bit for Fullclear. But at least there is even a second turret now for Fullclear, so something goes back into them. But still, it was a good little tower dive there by Dynasty.
Yeah, and Nomad, well, I don't find the words. But yeah, he doesn't have armor penetration. He goes in with the full stacked Kraken Slayer and the white weapon, so you just hit it and you get your damage up, but it wasn't enough to kill the Ornn. Maybe with a bit of armor penetration you would have get it, so kinda unfortunate for Nomad here. That would have changed the fight.
Yeah. But, I mean, things are not too bad still. I mean, gold difference isn't too big. They still got this 1 Drake more. They still have a Baron buff on Skyonage, I believe. I'm not sure if anyone else has got it. They just need to get a grip on Dynasty's pushing, because with this front line, with the Ziggs, they just keep on pushing. Here we have on the bot lane the situation. Frankie is getting caught here. Dark UniQ coming in with Gravelot, and now it's Fullclear who has to fall back. Fessi is gonna die, but they only leave it at that at least.
And with that, Renekton goes down to 1-6, but on the flip side, they at least got the top lane turret, because Diana also shreds through turret, and even Nomad got 1 turret, so it's just 2 turrets for this one little catch on Feast Day, which isn't really worth for Dynasty. So Fullclear definitely tries to outplay them by a really good macro game right now.
Yeah, and they just split pushing. If you don't win the fights, just go split push. That's the TP for the dragon.
Yeah.
The dragon is also very strong.
Yeah, Dynasty deciding
It's
to
free.
immediately group up this time around.
Yeah, and it's free.
Yeah. I mean, free Drake Why not? Just take it. Take what you get, right? And with that, they stopped like the soul point trade again. But of course, they need to be a little bit careful with those turrets. That's the reason why we already see Frankie there on the bot lane. And so they stopped the bleeding. They got no 2 drakes, which is kind of important for them. So at the moment, they got back into the game, but still are behind in gold just because of all those little farm leads. Like, just look at jungle, just look at bot lane. I mean, that's just some farm leads there.
Yeah, it's you have the farm leads, but do you have the damage leads is the thing. Jace is still important on these pokes. The Graves can just kite your comp, and the Ornn got the stone plate, so he's even more tanky. And soon the Thorn Mail, so you even almost kill yourself if you hit him. So it's hard to actually focus some damage. And there's still no LDR for Nomad. That's bad. There's still no Black Cleaver, so no penetration or peeling for Grace or Ornn.
Yeah, also he's been on the same items for a while now, no? You should have a lot of money in his pocket. Okay, he is backing now, because I believe he should be able to finish an item.
Yeah, it's probably the...
Yeah. But Dynasty is taking initiative here and engaging. Frankie has to be careful, however, Nomad already really low. This is good for Dynasty. As Fullclear is supposed to fall back, Moonlight Fishing falling as Festi is coming in from the side, but onto Hazaki, very nice ultimate from Galop, but they need to focus the rest. Yeah, Festi goes all in, gets the damage on Frankie, but dies at the hands of the rest. Hazaki is able to keep Fullclear Esports at their tabs. Taxi coming in, but he's also... No, he survives thanks to the Sona play. It's Nomad who is the next to fall as the fight keeps on going on. Humulu is really low, has to be careful. Galop goes onto him, the damage is there. No, triple kill for the Ornn player, and he keeps on going. Skyonage is getting shut down by Dark UniQ, and that's the ace for Dynasty.
That was so crazy by Hazaki. Just imagine this whole team fight. I mean, Hazaki was always on 4 people, and then the first front line, Renekton jumped in, he died, Hazaki is still surviving. Then Galop jumped in, could run out, but Hazaki is still surviving. Then even Taxri jumped in, died, Hazaki is still surviving. So this frontline dude on his Ornn just was as strong as 3 other frontline dudes and still carried, because then he killed Nomad. I mean, that's so insane. He's just unkillable at this point of time and will probably still be a huge threat as long as we don't get into late game where they kinda get some penetration stats.
Yeah, they need some penetration. I know why. Nomad now has the LDR, so it's a bit easier to kill the Ornn. The Black Cleaver is also built by Renekton, and I think also Galop is going for the Black Cleaver here. But I think the Ornn is the new carry for the new AD carry for Dynasty. This is just insane how much damage he deals. But there was a very good ult from Taxer. He got into 4 people. He just got knocked back though, and then the damage was only on Ornn. But yeah, you have to peel your Aphelios.
Yeah.
Can you do that?
In general, it was very rough. I mean, Dynasty were able to push them back, and Hazaki is still super threatening. As you've said, they need to find an answer to that. Because now he's even getting tanky against the magic damage of Taxvik, right? So, yeah, a bit of a rough one. It just keeps on going.
Yeah, some other fights, some other turrets being tried to siege, but Hazaki, I mean, just look at that. I mean, he's still full life. I mean, 2 people tried to poke him, still full life. I mean, it's so crazy what this man... I mean, look at the combo! He just did a W and I did not see the health bar moving. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, and you get so much stats from the gargoyles, you get so much stats from the Jaksho upgraded, you even get more passive stats on the Ornn because you upgraded items and you have like 5 upgrades, so he's on like 15% better stats. I think it's 15. think it's 1% per. It could also, but that's high. I don't actually know, but I think it was around some stuff.
With that, next Drake is up. That would be sole point for either team, and Dynasty takes initiative, takes it with Humlu and Dark Uniq. And Fullclear is currently back on the back foot again, although we know that they can fight back. They just really need to fight the team fight well, find a good angle, in order to not have Hazaki be a solo raid boss who can just keep 4 men busy.
Yeah, botline Siege is going with the Baron buff. It looks really good for Dynasty, and I mean, just look at all. He just stands there, he just wants to fight.
Yeah. Oh! Nice stun there. Avoiding the ulti pushback. We have Renekton TP'd back, and Dynasty doesn't overstay.
157 crit on the Ornn. Engage.
Yeah, Fullclear goes for the engage. Moonlight Villager goes on the side. Very nice ulti from Crablord, and the situation is quickly put in Dynasty's favor as they get 2 very important kills. We still have some fight in Fullclear left, but Gallop really low is gonna die. Taxwick isn't able to pick Crablord and dies at the hands of Dynasty, and with that, almost an ace. They keep the push going. They still have a wave on the bot lane, and Skyonage alone is not gonna do much against Dynasty at this point.
Yeah, and that could be the second game going here for Dynasty. They will lead 2-0 in this series against Fullclear, and with that we already moved to match point in the series.
Yeah, and match point is hard for Mental of Fullclear. They lost 5 games in a row now. That's not good for your mental, and also you're playing with a substitute in a playoff match. It also hits the mental big time. So I think it's gonna be hard. It looks like a 3-0 for Dynasty with they're on a 5-0 win streak at the moment. So we see both sides of these situations actually. So yeah, what we're gonna see in a few minutes is also interesting.
Yeah, we'll have to see what Fullclear has got in store as an answer, because now they're in their last resorts. If they lose this, they're out for these playoffs. They'll still have had a great run. I mean, coming in from the amateur circuit to get a 3rd spot is still incredible. It's really great. However, they might still be able to turn it around. I mean, they still had a pretty good game. Both teams are very even, but as you've said, QG, the mental is going to be heavy to take with you in this 3rd game. So I think we're going to head into a break for us to catch a breather and for the teams to reassemble their thoughts, get back for a better gameplay in the next game. We'll see you very soon.